November 5th, 1605. The heart of London is oblivious to the danger lurking beneath. Guy Fawkes, a soldier with a cause, stands guard. Around him, 36 barrels of gunpowder, enough to change the course of history. In mere hours, the state opening of Parliament will commence. The target, King James I, and with him the entire English ruling elite. But as the clock ticks, the fate of a nation hangs in the balance, and secrets buried deep are about to see the light. How did Guy Fawkes and the 13 gunpowder conspirators get so close to changing history? Join us in exploring their story and the true reasons why we celebrate on the 5th of November every year. Chapter 1. Faith and Hopelessness. It was 1603. The ascension of James I was a period of trepidation and promise for the English Catholics. His Scottish heritage and pronounced ties to Catholicism painted him as a potential reprieve for the English Catholics. Decades of suppression and persecution under the Tudors had left them yearning for a monarch who might understand their plight, and James seemed the answer. His lineage was compelling. His mother, the ill-fated Mary, Queen of Scots, had paid the ultimate price for her unwavering Catholic beliefs. His wife, the enigmatic Queen Anne, secretly practiced Catholic rites, far from prying eyes. The cobblestone streets of England buzzed with whispers of hope. The Catholics anchored their optimism in the stark contrast between James and his predecessor, Elizabeth. The latter's reign was characterized by severe anti-Catholic edicts and bloodshed, a dark period where being Catholic was synonymous with treachery. For many, James's ascent represented a possible thawing, a shift towards religious reconciliation. Yet the actual litmus test for James's intentions came from the millenary petition. The Puritans, a faction of the Anglican Church determined to purge the Church of England of any lingering Catholic vestiges, presented this petition. Their fervent plea for reforms was a clash of ideologies, pitting the Protestant Reformation against Catholic traditions. The weight of this decision was heavy on James, but he responded with a vehemence that echoed in cathedrals and chapels alike.
I will make them conform, or I will harry them out of this land.
It was a chilling declaration, one that dashed any lingering hopes of religious harmony.
Robert Catesby, a man of noble birth from Warwickshire, was at the heart of this turbulent era. His family clung to their Catholic faith despite its dangers. Catesby's father, Sir William Catesby of Lapworth, had borne the brunt of Elizabeth's wrath. The Elizabethan government imprisoned and penalized him for his faith. These memories, fresh in Catesby's mind, were augmented by James's alarming declaration. With each passing day, as the screws of persecution tightened, Catesby's resolve hardened. In response, he hacked together a desperate plan to overcome their seemingly desperate situation.
Chapter 2, Desperation and Unity. In February 1604, King James I's attitude towards Catholicism took a decisively chilling turn. The discovery of a rosary sent to Queen Anne from the Pope through one of James's spies, Sir Anthony Standen, led to the king's public denunciation of the Catholic Church. Only 3 days later, in a move that sent shockwaves throughout the Catholic community, James ordered all Jesuits and Catholic priests to leave the country. To further twist the knife, he reinstated the oppressive fines imposed on those who refused to attend Anglican church services, known as recusants. These acts shattered any remaining hope that his reign might be tolerant and reminded the English Catholics of the tyrannical anti-Catholic rule of Elizabeth I.
The palpable hope that had once lingered in the hearts of English Catholics had dissipated. Many realized King James I was not the harbinger of change they had prayed for. Catesby, with the memories of his family's persecution under Elizabeth I still fresh, felt the sting of this realization more acutely than most. His mounting desperation and desire for a brighter future for English Catholics drove him to contemplate the unimaginable. He would orchestrate the assassination of King James I and place his young daughter, Princess Elizabeth, on the throne as a Catholic queen. Such an audacious plan required more than a leader with conviction. It demanded a team of dedicated conspirators ready to risk everything. Among the first to join Catesby was Thomas Percy. Born into the influential Percy family, a lineage interwoven with the fabric of England's nobility, he was a distant kin to the powerful earls of Northumberland. This connection presented an aura of legitimacy to their cause. Percy's discontent with the Protestant monarchy was well known, and his commitment to Catholicism had led him down many rebellious paths. His influence and extensive network of contacts would be invaluable in amassing resources for their plot.
Thomas Wintour was more than just another name among the conspirators. He was the emissary of the plot, the bridge that connected disparate individuals into a cohesive group. Born into a staunchly Catholic family, Wintour's European travels had exposed him to various Catholic courts and personalities. During one of these journeys, he met Guy Fawkes, recognizing in him the passion and military prowess the plot sorely needed. Bringing Fawkes to England and introducing him to Catesby, Wintour played a pivotal role in assembling the group that would challenge the might of the English crown. His dedication to the cause was not just born from religious fervor, but also from a deep-seated desire to see an end to the persecution of his brethren.
Although a lesser-known figure in England, Guy Fawkes emerged as an essential player in Catesby's grand scheme. Also known as Guido Fawkes, his experiences included adventures and battles across the European continent. Fawkes had served as a soldier in the Spanish Netherlands, honing his skills in warfare and, crucially, gaining expertise in handling explosives. With piercing eyes and a fierce determination, Fawkes brought a blend of military experience and a deep-rooted passion for the Catholic cause.
John and Christopher Wright weren't merely figures in a plot. They were brothers, bound by faith and fate. Born into a fervent Catholic family, they navigated a world that viewed their beliefs with suspicion. Their resilience grew as they faced imprisonments for their convictions, their bond only deepening with each trial. This bond extended to Thomas Percy, tied to them by their sister's marriage, weaving their destinies even closer. As they joined the conspiracy, it wasn't merely for rebellion, but a heartfelt cry for religious freedom. Their personal battles with intolerance shaped them, making them crucial to a cause larger than themselves. As the pieces of the conspiracy began to come together, Catesby knew that the trust between the plotters was paramount. Underneath the cloak of night, in a dimly lit room where only the flickering candles bore witness, the conspirators gathered. Each man took an oath of secrecy with a hand on the Bible. Their whispered yet firm words sealed their allegiance to the plot and each other, vowing to place their cause above life and kin. It was a solemn promise, binding them in unity. Chapter 3. Bonds and Suspicions. In the shadowy world of conspiracies, trust is the currency that holds everything together. But within Catesby's circle, fractures began to appear. One particular source of tension was Francis Tresham. Though he was Catesby's cousin, their mothers were sisters. Tresham's commitment to their cause was questionable. While he had the means, he hesitated to fund their operations fully and seemed unwilling to offer his estate, Rushton Hall, as a potential base.
Then there was Ambrose Rookwood, a young man of just 28. Though youthful, he was wealthy, owning a substantial stable of horses that could prove invaluable to the plot. His dedication to the Catholic cause ran deep, reflected in the choices of his brothers, who served the church as Franciscan monks and priests. In contrast to the well-bred plotters, Thomas Bates stood out. He wasn't of noble birth, nor did he have the wealth many others in the group possessed. However, his unwavering loyalty to Catesby ensured him a place within this inner circle.
While their plot progresses, Robert Cecil, the cunning Earl of Salisbury, keeps his ear to the ground. As King James' trusted advisor, he had spies everywhere and was no stranger to whispers of rebellion. Even as he collected information on the growing conspiracy, he remained patient, waiting for the right moment to act. In this high-stakes chess game, Cecil was a master player, biding his time. Chapter 4. Dusk and Deception. November's chill was in the air, reflecting the tension gripping London. The House of Lords stood tall, unaware of the deadly secret that lurked in its depths. Barrels of gunpowder, enough to turn the Parliament and its occupants into history. They entrusted Guy Fawkes with this lethal responsibility, disguised as John Johnston. His mission was singular: to wait for the perfect moment and ignite the fuse, ensuring a future for Catholics in England. But in the shadows, not all was as it seemed. A mysterious letter had made its way into the hands of Lord Monteagle, the brother-in-law of Francis Tresham. The cryptic warning suggested a dark fate awaited attendees of the Parliament's upcoming assembly. Though its origins remained elusive, this letter shifted the winds of fate. Lord Monteagle brought the letter to Robert Cecil, and the authorities, alerted to potential peril, decided to take precautions. Back to Guy Fawkes, standing guard at the cellar. As the 5th of November approaches, Fawkes felt a growing anticipation.
The Parliament's grand opening was on the horizon. With it, the promise of a new dawn for English Catholics, but the air grew thick with tension. The very walls seemed to whisper of treachery. Every creak of the wooden floorboards, every distant murmur, amplified Fawkes's anxiety. And then the moment that would define history. Soldiers, torches ablaze, approached the cellar's entrance. With a unified heave, they crashed open the door, revealing an atmosphere thick with tension. Amidst the shadowy recesses stood Guy Fawkes, lantern in hand, flanked by barrels of explosive intent. Their eyes met, the gravity of discovery hanging heavily between conspirator and captor. The plot was exposed. As the dim lantern light cut through the shadows, revealing stacks of gunpowder barrels, Fawkes's cover was blown. Detained on the spot, he introduced himself as John Johnston, merely a servant to Thomas Percy. But the barrels told a different tale, one of conspiracy and intent. The mention of Percy's name added depth to the plot, hinting at a conspiracy far more extensive than one man and a cellar of explosives. The curtain was rising on a drama that would forever mark the pages of history as valor met fear head-on. The plotters' hopes, once burning bright, now flickered in the face of impending doom. Chapter 5. Flight, Fight, and the Final Curtain. The foiling of the gunpowder plot sent shockwaves through the conspirators. Realizing that London was no longer safe, Catesby, Percy, and Rookwood mounted their horses, with desperation and resolve igniting their path. Over 3 frantic days, they rode hard, leveraging Rookwood's thoroughbred horses, renowned for their speed and stamina. Their destination, Holbeca House, a seemingly secure refuge to regroup and decide their next move. However, fate had other plans. Arriving at Holbeca House, a sense of eerie foreboding cloaked the air. In a cruel twist of irony, an errant spark triggered an explosion as they attempted to dry dampened gunpowder before the fireplace. The blast severely injured Catesby's cousin Robert Grant, blinding him and injuring others, including Rookwood, intensifying their sense of doom. As the plotters licked their wounds, little did they know that the king's men were closing in. In the early hours, the High Sheriff of Worcester surrounded Holbeca House with 200 men, and a fierce gunfight ensued. The rebels, cornered and outnumbered, fought with the passion of men with nothing left to lose. When the smoke cleared, the house bore witness to a macabre scene. Catesby, Percy, and the Wright brothers lay dead, their dreams of a Catholic resurgence buried with them. In the wake of this tragedy, the captured conspirators, including a wounded Rookwood, were paraded in London. While the nation grappled with the shocking events, in the Tower of London's cold confines, Francis Tresham breathed his last a month before his fellow conspirators. His sudden and mysterious death fueled speculations. Was it natural, or were darker forces at play? The spectacle of their public trial was a carefully orchestrated event designed to deliver justice and send a chilling message. In the cold grasp of winter, amidst a sea of onlookers, Guy Fawkes and Ambrose Rookwood were subjected to the brutal fate of being hanged, drawn, and quartered. This form of execution, reserved for the gravest of traitors, was both a prolonged torture and a grim spectacle. First hanged until the brink of death, they were then cut down, disemboweled, and finally, their bodies severed into quarters. Their grisly ends were a stark reminder of the monarchy's power and the price of rebellion. Those who had already met their end at Holbeca were also posthumously humiliated. The authorities exhumed the bodies of Catesby and Percy, executed their bodies, and placed their decapitated heads on spikes, grim trophies overlooking London Bridge, a chilling reminder of the price of treason. Amidst this chaos, Robert Cecil, the master puppeteer, looked on. Some whispered that he allowed the plot to progress further than it should have, intending to deepen King James I's mistrust of Catholics. Whether this was strategic manipulation or mere circumstance remains a subject of debate. Yet, one undeniable outcome of the failed plot was the observance of the 5th of November Act 1605, ensuring the nation would never forget that fateful day. Even today, the echoes of "Remember, remember the 5th of November" resonate, serving as a testament to a plot that almost altered the course of English history. Here are the AI recreations of the conspirators of the gunpowder plot. Robert Catesby, shot and killed at Holbeca House, the 8th of November 1605, and posthumously executed. Charismatic and zealous, Catesby was the mastermind behind the gunpowder plot, driven by his family's persecution and a vision of a Catholic England. Guy Fawkes, hanged, drawn, and quartered at Westminster, London, the 31st of January 1606. With a fiery spirit and a European military background, Fawkes was the plot's chosen one to light the fuse. Thomas Percy, shot and killed at Holbeche House, the 8th of November 1605, and posthumously executed. A member of the influential Percy family, his discontent with the Protestant rule and noble connections made him crucial to the plot. John Wright, shot and killed at Holbeche House, the 8th of November 1605. A deeply devoted Catholic, he endured persecution for his faith and was one of Catesby's most trusted allies. Christopher Wright, shot and killed at Holbeche House, the 8th of November 1605. John's brother and equally unwavering in his Catholic faith, he stood shoulder to shoulder with the conspirators till the end. Thomas Wintour, Westminster, London, the 31st of January 1606, hanged, drawn, and quartered. The bridge connecting the conspirators, Wintour's European journeys exposed him to the larger Catholic struggle, making him essential for recruitment and planning. Thomas Bates, Westminster, London, the 30th of January 1606, hanged, drawn, and quartered. Loyal servant to Catesby, Bates was deeply entrenched in the plot, driven by his devout Catholic beliefs despite not being a gentleman. Robert Wintour, Hagley, Worcestershire, the 30th of January 1606, executed after capture. Despite initial reservations, Thomas Wintour's brother, Robert, brought financial support and dedication to the cause. The tale of the Gunpowder Plot isn't just about conspiracy. It's a narrative woven from faith, desperation, and the undying human spirit. In the solemn echo of Remember, Remember the 5th of November, we hear not just a warning, but a testament to courage and conviction. The stories of these 13 men serve as a stark reminder of our shared history's intricate layers and the sacrifices made in its name. As we close this video, we thank you for accompanying us on this journey. If you do like the video, please press the like and notification and consider subscribing to Meeting History Timeline's channel and join us for more reflections from history.